Hi, I'm Johnny and welcome to the Hexy Beast. Now, I know I haven't been around for a while and there'll be another video to explain that, but in this episode I want to go over something very special, which was this year's UK Games Expo. So anyway, without much further ado, let's just do the old travel shot and get on with it, shall we? So usually when I do one of these convention videos, you would see a lot of footage of me traveling on a train at the start of it. Well, let's just say that's not going to happen this time, because this year I actually traveled with Jay from Board Game Bonkers, which is another YouTube channel which I think you should check out. So basically we were traveling on the Thursday, ready to get there in order to get to the press preview. And once we got there, we went round, we looked at a few games, I said hello to a few people. It was a lot of fun, but like I said, we'd kind of been busy traveling. I didn't quite get in there as early as I would have liked, but I still managed to go around and see a couple of cool things, such as SETI from CGE. That was one of my highlights of the convention. I didn't get a chance to play it, but I managed to speak to CGE at the press preview, and from what I've seen of it, I think I'm really going to like it, so that's one game to look out for. Thursday, like I said, is more about just going around and meeting some publishers without all the hustle and bustle of the convention going on around you. So with Thursday out of the way, I think it's now time that we talk about Friday. Okay, so that brings us on to Friday, and as you may notice, there's something a little different about what I'm wearing this video. Instead of wearing a Hexy t-shirt, I'm actually wearing a t-shirt that I wore at Dranda Games booth this year. That's because this year, on the Friday, I spent most of my time from 9 in the morning until 5 PM in the afternoon demoing Pioneer Rails at the Dranda Games booth. I just want to say a big thank you to Dranda Games for having me as part of their team. It was such an honor to work with Paul Grogan on the same team as well. It's something that I really found that I've started enjoying lately, is actually demoing games to people. Although on the Friday I did kind of get my first demo a little bit wrong, but after a quick chat with Simon from Dranda, we basically straightened it out, and every demo going forward on that day actually went really smoothly. One of the things I love about demoing games is probably the fact that you get to see how other people learn games. And you kind of feel like you have a direct impact on the impression that the game leaves on them. And for that, it kind of helps you take a bit of pride in what you're doing. You kind of think it really matters. One more thing I want to say about Pioneer Rails is that it is actually a very good game. It managed to win both the Judges Award and the People's Choice Award in the categories it was nominated for this year. So I just want to say a big congratulations to Jeffrey and Matt for the success of their game. Honestly, it's just a really good, like, sort of gateway roll and write / flip and write game. There will be a review coming soon, and don't worry, the fact that I work with Dranda Games, you know, you can take that into context for your biases, but I will also have some criticism of the game in the review, so don't panic about that. Also on Friday, after I was done demoing, I got a chance to play Loch Ness with Jay back at the accommodation. It was kind of like a fun little memory-based game, which I don't often get a chance to play, especially as a solo gamer, but in this context it was pretty fun. The first game I was pretty terrible at because I'm not very good with memory-based mechanisms, but by the second game I managed to pull out a win, and I just want to say to Jay that was a really fun game, and I'd be more than happy to play that again. I had a lot of fun on the Friday, but like I said, because I was working a lot and I was doing a lot of demos, yeah, I did play a lot of games, but I played a lot of the same game. So although I did get to see a very good cross-section of how people would play Pioneer Rails, it wasn't really until Saturday that I played some more of what the Expo had to offer. Anyway, let's just move on to the Saturday. Okay, so that brings us on to the Saturday, where I spent most of the morning up until about 12 o'clock also doing more demos of Pioneer Vales, but don't worry, we're not going to talk anymore about that. So Saturday was the main day where I sort of met up with people I've been planning to meet up, like Sarah Shah from Board Games in a Minute. I also met Bruno Farduti, which is a prolific game designer that I'm quite a fan of. It was just a lot of meeting people on the Saturday, but I did get some games in, including a game of Hove. So Hove is kind of like a strategic adventure game. It kind of shares a lot of DNA with Gloomhaven, although it doesn't use that card mechanism. It has a lot of interesting actions. It's kind of like a boss battler. It's hard to really describe without seeing it. But there will be some more coverage of that on my channel, hopefully, if I can get a copy of Hove. Because for one, I really enjoyed it. I played it with 2 other guys who were there. And it seems to work really well in co-op. And one thing I like as a solo player is a really meaty, really enjoyable co-op game. As well as that, on Saturday, I went around to look at some of the booths because, like, it's not really just gaming that happens at UK Games Expo. You get to see a lot of cosplay, there's some fun, like, there's things to buy, like there's t-shirts and like knickknacks and all that kind of thing. So I thought I'd just go around, have a look. I didn't end up actually buying anything, which was a shame because there was a few things I looked at, but in the end I didn't really have time. At this point in the Saturday evening, I thought I'd just head over to the gaming rules table over in the Open Gaming. It's just where Paul's Patreons hang out, and as a Patreon of Paul's, I thought I'd go over and see some of the people that I chat to online a lot. It's kind of like one of 2 times of the year where I get to meet everyone, and it's a really nice time for me. So I tend to use UKGE as well as GridCon as a bit more of a socializing sort of event. I tend to bump into a lot of people that I only talk to online for the rest of the year. We decided in the end not to attend the convention on the Sunday because to make travel arrangements easier for Jay, who was the guy I was traveling with, it made sense for us to go home quite early on the Sunday. And to be honest, although I would have liked to stay there a bit longer, I too was kind of feeling the fatigue from the weekend after working on Jan the booth and like spending most of Saturday wandering around trying to do a little bit of shopping. I was kind of exhausted, so I was kind of on the same page as Jay when it came to coming home early on the Sunday. I would have liked to have met some more people, but I think coming home when we did was a good idea. So I just want to say a big thank you to Janda Games, who basically made the expo possible for me this year. Without them, I probably wouldn't have been able to attend at all. I also want to say a big thank you to Jay for basically carting me about everywhere. Also, if you haven't already, please check out his channel, Board Game Bonkers. He does a lot of interesting things on there, a lot of interviews, some great lists. And just generally, he's a good mate of mine, and I see him at Game Group every week, so I thought, why not plug his channel? Okay, so I just want to say that I had a wonderful time at this year's UK Games Expo, and that there will be more content coming from me moving forward. This isn't me quitting, I just had a bit of a break that kind of took a little longer than it needed to. So moving forward, there's going to be weekly content, you're going to have more videos, and hopefully they're going to be a little better than what they used to be. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, thanks for coming to see me. It's good to see everyone else again, it's glad to be back. And if you've liked what you've been seeing, please feel free to smash that like button up there and check out another one of my videos by here. Anyway, I've been Johnny, thank you for watching, and most of all, stay hexy everyone.